Okay, I've been doing a lot of research lately about just how much it costs to go from commercial flying, whether you're flying the US, for example, to Dubai, and then basically doing private around the region. I think something like $8,000 an hour to get a Qatari executive jet. Walk us through just the price dynamics of this. Why does this make more sense than to try and fly commercial, especially during a time of global pandemic when arguably airfares are going to be a bit lower than they normally would be?
Well, I mean, we're seeing a complete change in the private aviation marketplace. And I think with the democratization which we're pushing in this industry, the price points are coming down. And we did an acquisition about 18 months ago of JetSmarter, and that technology even allows you to do some seat sharing. So you actually just go on our app and you create a flight, and you invite other members to join, and you can bring those price points down. But I think in terms of the actual value proposition of the business jet market, obviously a lot less touch points in terms of health and sanity with the entire pandemic we have around the world. And so point-to-point connection is another major driver. And it just gets you a time-saving value proposition. So all these are the drivers of this industry where we see growth these days.
Thomas, Dan here in Dubai. Great to speak with you again. It feels like just yesterday you and I were sitting in the tarmac in Dubai talking about some of these issues. My question to you is on the coronavirus impact. How is the sector rebounding, and is this a net positive or net negative for the private aviation sector? We know for commercial aviation, we've just seen one of the worst years in history. What about on the private side?
Well, we've seen a very strong V-shaped recovery in 2020, so we're having a net positive now. We're seeing an incredible amount of new members and subscription signups as we're entering 2021. And corporations just want to have access to a global infrastructure. And since Vista is the only global player, we actually see at our EXO brand a 3x of new members over last year and over 2019 as well. So there's a huge shift. And obviously, with a lot less non-stop direct connections on the commercial side of things, people are trending over to the private jet market, and the private jet market can offer you that point-to-point connection.
Yeah, unpack that for us a little bit more. Why are people flying private? You just mentioned there, airlines not operating at full capacity, but how much does safety play into it when seemingly you only have perhaps half a dozen people on one aircraft?
Yeah, I mean, safety plays a big contribution to the rebound and actually to the net positive of this industry. And, think about the touch points. If you don't have a non-stop connection, a point-to-point connection, you're then now touching 2 airplanes and 3 airports to get to your final destination. And there have been studies that if you fly commercial, there are about 700 touch points. If you fly on a business jet, there's only about 20 to 25 touch points. So obviously, people and corporations with their executives are super careful to make sure that they get safely to their destinations, conduct their business, and come back home. And that's really where the private jet market comes in.
Thomas, you've also made a major announcement with the acquisition of Apollo. Take us inside this transaction. Where are the synergies, and why do the economics make sense?
Well, we want to continue to aggregate demand around the world, and Apollo has the finest and best sales force and client executives around the world. For us, that was very, very important to allow more clients around the world to access the Vista fleet. We now have over 160 airplanes around the world. It's all our own fleet, which allows customers to have a guaranteed quality product anywhere, anytime around the world. And this acquisition really helps us to aggregate demand, and obviously that demand will then go straight to our fleet.
Okay, so what's the business plan for the rest of the year? Are you expecting to make more acquisitions as the industry continues to consolidate?
Well, we see a major consolidation in this industry. As we always said, very, very fragmented industry. We will continue to look at opportunities around the world. And I think with a platform that we have established in any corner of the world, that wherever makes sense, we will look at. But from an organic point of view, we're just launched the Global 7500, the first airplane basically flying nonstop from any point to any point around the globe. And so at any end of the market, being at a 7,500 or all the way down to seat sharing with our technology, we are giving a solution to every single a client or potential client in this industry, and we're seeing very, very much a shift over from the commercial aviation side into this market, and we're trying to make that value proposition easy by offering it on a simple app, click to flight business model.